where it's at. All the way where it's at. Man, we have to invite you out after you come on board to the Bean Acres, man. Bean Acres is a beautiful thing.
All right. We'll see what happens.
Where'd he go?
I know he just made you the host. I know that. So it looks like you got the controls, girl.
All right. Let's go ahead and share the screen. I had some technical difficulties. I'm still learning how to DJ a little bit. All right. Hey, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. You know, we are a little bit late, but hey, you're never late when you learn how to create generational wealth. Hey, I'd like to introduce you to an awesome cash flow asset conversation. Hey, today, you know, I'm going to be your host, Mr. Bryan Woods. Well, actually a co-host. And Fatima, you out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's get this party started. Let's go.
All right, so hi, what's your name, Sam? How are you?
Great, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking the time out to join us today and learn about this cash asset cash flow. Okay, it's gonna be a good conversation. You already know Bryan. So he's pretty much it's gonna be a conversation between the two of us. And if you have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to chime in, or we go into the question area, okay?
Okay.
All righty.
All right, hey, awesome. Hey, thanks for that warm welcome, Fatima. Hey, what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be talking about the cash asset cash flow conversation. I happen to be a proud member of the extra digit movement, where we're going to show you how to take 3 figures from 4 figures to earn 5 figures to 6 to 7 figures. And we're talking about your cash. This is something that you didn't learn in school. So everything that you learned today, learned before you came to this conversation, forget anything that you learned about money before you came to this conversation. I want you to put that on a hold. Right now, what you're about to experience, you can't unsee what you're about to see, and you can't unhear what you're about to hear. So we'll get right off into it. We're going to be talking about Wealth Principle 101, cash asset cash formula. We're going to be talking about your money. The money that you've been missing out on and losing out on, and you didn't know because you weren't taught this in school. But think about this. We're a proud member of Extra Dip Movement. This movement started by Mr. Bryan M. Bean. Mr. Bryan M. Bean retired at the age of 22. He earned $1 million and lost $1 million, and he regained it by the age of 31. He is the fastest four-figure earner in the company. He created the most millionaire residual ring earners and helped over 100,000 people live a legacy, not just leave a legacy. So we teamed up with MWR Financial Company, which is the ultimate cash flow company, with Mr. Bryan House, the CEO and founder, and Mr. Adomino Tosin, the president of Field and Leadership Development. This company has been around about 4.5 years. This is a debt-free company, also known for its cash flow membership. So think about this. What people have been trying to figure out is how and what we've been doing to help all these people. Well, you're looking at it. We're going to talk to you today about how you can increase your cash flow, create your cash flow, and multiply your cash flow with an awesome proven system called the cash flow system. So we're going to let the cat out of the bag. So for $149.97, we're going to introduce you to a proven system with strategy with a group of experts, just like some of the big time people out there like Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan. Some people would think like, man, how do they have it all together? That's because they got a team and a group of experts. But think about this. We got stuff like reducing your taxes, lowering your bills, eliminating your debt, raising my credit score, and keys to my home ownership. But I don't want to go too far in depth. Fatima, could you let my guy know what it did for you when you started to get this membership and how it changed your life?
Yeah, so I've been with the company since January, and the first thing that I did was I wanted to reduce my taxes because that's a really big expense if you think about it. So I submitted my two pay stubs to the experts and my tax returns, and they were able to give me the documentation that I needed, and I turned it into my job, and I was able to give back initially $521 in my check, but it actually ended up being like almost $600 that I got back every month without asking. Oh, where'd he go? Without asking for a pay increase or anything like that. So I was very, very excited about that. The next thing I did was I started with the lower my bill. I went on ahead and got $800 off my internet service. So that brought my bill down to under $100, which was super good. They eliminated my debt. I uploaded all my debt in there, and they were able to give me a solid plan to help me lower my debt that I currently have. But the biggest thing and one thing I'm most proud about is my credit score. So before I came into the business, I was in the high 600s. I was like 697. Since getting with the expert, they were able to help me raise my credit score up 55 points. So I'm like, now I'm actually in like I was like 752. Now I'm like at 769. So I never had a credit score that high before. So I was very, very, very excited about that.
All right.
Awesome. So Fatima, what you're basically saying is that you mean to tell me with these services, you were able to do tremendous things with your finances in a short period of time.
Yes, absolutely. And it didn't take much. It's not like it's a long drawn out process. That's where, like you were saying, when you have these famous people, they're not doing to create more wealth for themselves. They're not doing it on their own. Like no one can do it on their own. You have to either team up with somebody or you create your team of experts, right? That can help you. So as simple as just like giving it to the experts, and they go ahead and make sure they do what they need to do for you. So don't take much.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
The best thing I like about what you just said, Fatima, was this: the experts do all the work for you, and this is a 2-for-1 deal. This is not something where you got to pay both for both people in the family. It's for you and a spouse. But it gets better. Let's talk about cash flow stream number 1. Fatima, the 3 ups and the 3 downs. When you're looking at this 3 ups and 3 downs, what did these 3 ups and 3 downs do for you when you first was introduced to this, Fatima?
So like I mentioned, you started with my taxes, okay? When by them lowering my taxes gave me more income coming in, okay? And then raising my credit score is also going to give me the opportunity to buy more assets. Also, lowering my taxes is going to help me pay off debt, and also lowering my expenses is where I can put that money to the debt and to my assets. Well, getting more assets. So the average saving per customer has been anywhere between $200 to $600 per month in tax savings. They have helped people eliminate debt. The average member has been getting over $64,000 in debt eliminated. And then the average savings per month has been $140. So it's a win-win.
Okay. Hey, so basically this proven system, which you just was talking about just now, that this system is the key to start to create some wealth that you didn't have before because you didn't even know about it.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't realize how much I was overpaying in taxes until teaming up with the expert.
Okay. Hey, so think about this. It gets even better. The membership alone has been saving people on average at least $2,000 per household. I don't know about you, but an extra $2,000 out of back in your pocket, you can start to do stuff like have an emergency fund. You can start to do stuff like starting to finally be able to invest. You can even use that type of money to try to start saving for some things for your kids, for college funds and stuff like that. Think about this. Nowhere else in the world have an awesome system like this saving people $2,000. On average, they say that a lot of people, if they had an extra $2,000, they could keep themselves from actually from hurting when they have financial situations. To think about it, the average emergency is only between about $500 to maybe $2,500. But if you got $2,000, if your car was to break down, you can be able to have money to fund that. If you needed to go out for a death in the family emergency, and you have money for that. Just think about that. But this is why I love this system so much. But it gets even better. Let's talk about the keys to my home ownership. Fatima, we had a conversation earlier, like some weeks back, when we first saw this, when they enhanced the new enhancements, and it really blew my mind. But what was the thoughts that you had when you seen how the average person that couldn't get on because their credit was jacked up, or they had some other stuff that's going on with their financial history, they couldn't be able to afford a home? But when you saw this, what did you think when you saw this for the average person that couldn't get a fair shake?
So for one, I thought this was like a really good way to help people achieve the American dream, right, of home ownership. But most of the time, like you mentioned, like their credit might be bad or they can't afford the down payment. So therefore they're forced to rent. But we all know if they're renting, you can afford a mortgage, because sometimes a mortgage is actually cheaper than what you're going to actually pay in rent. And also when you're paying rent, all you're doing is helping someone else get equity in property and become wealthy. So now MWR has given people opportunity to actually own a home. So like you can start with just renting when you are building up the down payment to enjoy your home, or you could do the rent to own when you earn a monthly credit toward the down payment while you're also working with the expert to improve your credit. It's like a one-stop shop for one price, and you're getting everything instead of trying to save for a down payment. You're paying rent here, and then you have to go over here and pay somebody else to help you with your credit. Everything is being done right here, and that's the the good side about being a part of this company. And then of course you gain the tax benefits of buying in with little 10% down. Sometimes I think it's about 20% down when you're trying to purchase a house. Then of course you got the platinum, like your credit is good. Now you can get a lower interest rate, in which in turn is going to give you lower monthly payments. So that's like really, really good. So now we all know there's probably more people renting than there are actually homeowners. Now we have people that's able to actually own a home. And I know I can't wait to see the first person who does this, because I know they're going to be crying. I'm probably going to be crying with them, because it's a big deal to be able to do that for yourself.
And hey, I'm gonna tell you, Fatima, man, I love the way you explain that, because what blew my mind off the bat when we had that actual conversation with Mr. Lou said when we had that conference that people that are on Section 8, y'all, can be able to qualify, we can be able to get in this program and start to work their way to actually finally own their own home. When he said that, I was like, that's for my people that's got that low income. But it gets better. It gets better than that. Think about this. Y'all bear with me, I have some technical difficulties, sticking a little bit. But let me go back and share my screen. But to elaborate on that, the keys to the home loan is a game changer. It's a game changer for a lot of families that for generations and generations, everybody keep going through and they couldn't even afford a home. But now with this, they can do it. Hey, can you see my screen, Fatima?
Yeah, you
Okay,
good. You good.
y'all bear with me up in here. Don't want to do right. But we're gonna make it do right. All right. So hey, I don't want to, bust somebody out, but we just happen to have an awesome Mr. Charles Ivory on the line. If I can get him to step in and give people the story on how he did it from the top to the bottom. Mr. Ivory, are you out there?
Hey, what's going on, Bryan?
Hey, Mr. Ivory, hey, could you break down and drop a couple of jewels on how you went from working to not working to getting to this point right here where you're helping a lot of people, so my guy can understand how you did it?
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, so basically I joined this company, and I think my testimony slide is actually coming up later on in the presentation, but I joined this company about 3.5 years ago. And when I came in, I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had a job as a VA benefit advisor, a government job, supposed to be a secured government job. But what happened was 5 months after I got into the business, the company had laid me off due to the pandemic, But here was the good thing about it. When I first came in, I got in running, Bryan, man. I listened to those experts. They had me upload my 2 pay stubs and also had me send in my tax returns. And they saw that I was overpaying the government by $600. So what they did was they readjusted my W-4 form, had me turn it in, and on my very next paycheck, I had $600. So I had got an extra $600 every month since I done that. Now, because of that, I told a lot of people what I experienced. And so a lot of people wanted to do it too. So we helped a lot of people get instant pay raise. Now, because we got these debt elimination experts, they told me what to do with the extra cash flow. So what I did was I got myself out of $80,000 worth of credit card debt, because I was using credit cards as an emergency fund. I kind of got myself in a little trouble robbing Peter to pay Paul. So they showed me how to get out of debt, including my 30-year mortgage, which I was already in for 14 years, but they showed me how to pay it off, Bryan. And I ended up paying it off 16 years early, which saved me $300,000 in compound interest had I would have went the full 30-year term. So now I got all this additional income. I got the money from the taxes back. I got myself out of debt, so I wasn't paying a lot out. And so I had this additional cash flow, right? And because I uploaded my 3 credit reports, they helped me get my credit scores over the 800s. So I ended up paying off my house, and they showed me how to take the additional cash flow. It started snowballing, man. And I went and bought, some land. I went and got the private reserve account, man. I was earning 37% on the land. I was earning 18% on the private reserve account. My net worth had climbed over 7 figures. So we decided to build a house. Now, when you get to the compensation plan, you'll understand why I built this house, because the company is paying for it. And matter of fact, with this comp plan that we have, I was able to purchase some lakefront property down in Richmond Hill, Georgia, in cash, Bryan. So my life had totally changed, man, totally changed. And I always say, that small investment that I made was the best investment that I ever could make, because not only did it change my life, my wife, she was able to fire her boss too. Neither one of us work anymore. I got a 4-year-old son. Matter of fact, I was gonna make a post. His account just hit $10,000 because we put him in the business as well. So now, that old Bible scripture where, a man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. I'm actually able to see that come to fruition right now. My 4-year-old son, he's investing $500 a month in a private reserve account. He's probably the youngest kid I know with a retirement account. He ain't even in kindergarten yet. And we're gonna take that extra 10 and open him up a diversified cash flow account, which you're gonna talk about here soon, man. So this opportunity is life-changing, man. When I tell you it's life-changing, man, it changed my life. And you talked about Brian Bean, creating $1 million residual ring club earners, and I just happen to be one of them, so hey, there's the ring right there. Man, I'm enjoying the ride, man. So I'm gonna stick around, man, in case anybody got any questions, because I've done everything from A to Z of this company, and I can't stress how important it is to get this information, Brian. Man, hey, thanks for letting me share that.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for your testimony, Mr. Ivory. Hey, they call you the Waymaker for a reason. You help a lot of people, and you're a very, very modest guy that you don't, brag about what you do. You just help a lot of people, and a lot of people always talk about the education piece that you give them. That's the piece that struck me when I first met you, and that's the part that I love, that you continue to educate us and uplift us, and you always show us what's really behind the curtain. So continue to do what you're doing, and I'm looking to see you at National Ambassador out here one of these days soon. So, hey, we're gonna keep going on with the conversation. Mr. Ivory, just gave us, awesome testimony. So some of these slides we're gonna fast forward up to. I said I was gonna give my guy about 15 minutes, but there's some things that I want to show him, because I know most people love some money on top of money. So let's get right to it. I'm kind of frozen up, but let me stop my stream. Let me get unfrozen, and we're gonna get right off into it, because people sit there and they wonder how people get into the money. That's what most people want to know. How do I get to the money, and how is it done? And we're gonna find it out right now. Fatima, you can see my stream?
We can see it.
Got you. Let's start talking about some money, because that's what we're here for. All right, but before that, hey, Marcus, do you have any questions at this time? This is the time we're gonna ask questions before we start talking about this money. You got any questions to Mr. Ivory? Because this is the time where he will break it down like no other. Of anything you want to know right now.
No, I mean I'm just following along, getting a little bit of knowledge, but we can always talk one-on-one about it. But I'm just trying to soak it up as much as I can.
All right, awesome. So let's talk about this money, because everybody playing. Let's talk about this money. So this is how you get to the money. This is the cash flow opportunity. The opportunity is for extra $100 startup fee one time. $149 is what your overhead will be a month. You can get all of the services that we just was talking about, and the expert, and you got awesome mentor and Mr. Charles Ivory, and a lot of leaders across the board. So think about this. Now we wanted to get that out of the way, because some people are like, man, how much did this really cost? Think about this. Nowhere else in the world can you get a business opportunity like this and make anywhere from 4 figures, 5 figures, all the way up to 7 figures. If you think I'm playing, keep watching what we're doing. Fatima, let's talk to him. Let's talk to him about cash flow stream number 2. Hey, if you're looking at the stream right now, can you see the stream, Fatima?
Yes, I can see it.
Hey, let's talk to him about them bonuses on the stream. Let them know how the bonuses are broke down.
Okay, so first you have the sponsor bonus. So if you decide to partner with us or with myself or Brian, then there's a sponsorship go to per your QFDs. And then there's a momentum bonus. So like within the first 30 days, if you get you 3 QFDs and 1 customer, then you'll get the $150. Okay. Then it goes on and so forth, so on with the 450 and the 900. So the ultimate goals end up with the 900 within your first 90 days of being in the business. So these are bonuses, that are like he was saying, getting money on top of money.
Awesome, and you're right about that. But the thing is, when we talk momentum, just like Momentum said, we love speed, but it gets better. Think about this. We're just talking about how you unlock it. And some people are like, well, I ain't got the money to pay for this. We gonna show you how to self-fund it. That's what she was talking about earlier. How you unlock it is with 3 business partners, also known as QFDs, qualified finance directors, and 1 customer. You teach them to do the same thing. Now that helps self-fund your business for $150 for your overhead. But it gets better. At level two at ED2, this is where you can be able to unlock $600 a month with a group of only 12. That's right, only 12. But what's better about this is unlock a performance bonus of $300 a week. That's if you grow your team with 6 QFDs per week. So think about this. We don't usually do math in public, but just imagine earning 600 plus 300 every week. It's 4 weeks in a month. That's $1,800 that you can add onto the top of your plate. I don't know about you, but out here right now, the way things are going, $1,800 can definitely help you out with that mortgage that you're going to get if you ain't got a home or you got a home already, or some of the other things you have going on. But it gets even better. Think about this. The performance bonus. Let's talk about the performance bonus that we we're just talking about. This is just a breakdown from what I was just saying about the performance bonus, $300 a week. I don't know about you, but if somebody will give me $300 every week for doing well in the business, hey, I'm going to take it. I'm going to tell my team, let's do it. Because guess what? We can stop our stress. We can lower our stress levels and we have more cash flow because most people don't have an income problem. Think about this. Let's talk about the daily coding bonus.
Hey, hold on, Brian.
Brian, Mr. Ivory.
Hey, it's important to know. Back up one slide. With that $300 a week, that's not you getting 6 people yourself.
Hello.
At executive level 2, there's 12 people on your team. So if just half of those bring in 1 in a week, that's $300 for you per week. If 3 of them get 2 in a week, that's $300 for you. If 6 of them get, 6 of them get 1, that's $300 for you. So this bonus is not hard to get when you're not doing it by yourself. And that's important because a lot of people may think that they got to do this by themselves, and it's not. It's anytime a group of 6 join your organization from anybody on your team, you get the $300 per week. So just want to mention that.
Hey, Mr. Ivory, hey, thanks for clarifying that. I don't want nobody to be overwhelmed. Hey, you even lighten my eyes about that. So it's like Mr. Ivory just said, hey, you don't have to do it by yourself. Like we tell people, you're not in business for yourself. I mean, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And this is what we mean when we say that. So with the next level of bonuses, with the daily coded bonuses, this is where you get to level 3, ED3. This help unlock where you can start to be able to make those coded bonuses. And when we say coded bonuses, you already making that extra cash from growing your team by 12, by 6 a week and getting that $300 a week. But think about this. Just imagine when you unlock at ED3, you start to unlock that $30 on over to $150 as you go up in level of rank in the organization. When we say rank, that equals more pay. So think about this. You're getting all of that for that one investment that we were talking about earlier. But I'm not trying to convince you because they say men lie, women lie, but these numbers that we talk about on the streets right now, they do not lie. But think about this. If we always say that when you rank up, you bank up. And this is one of the great examples about with the coded bonuses. and you get paid this every single day. Once you get, I mean, every time somebody in the organization comes in the organization, you'll get that's coded underneath you. And Mr. Ivory, to break that down, in layman terms, when I say coded bonus, in layman terms, what would that be like at your level of of leadership?
Well, I'm on a 6th level, so that's a regional director. So anytime anybody join the organization, that's $60 on top of the $50 sponsorship bonus. So if I was to put somebody in the business, if I was to do it, then I would get $60 plus the $50. If someone that's on level 3 put somebody in the business, well, they would get the $30 and I would get the difference to the 60. So I would earn $30 with they $30. If somebody was on level 4, I would get the difference. I would get $20. They would get 40, I would get 20, because that adds up to 60, because my code is 60. You know, and I believe you have someone in the business that's at a higher code, regional director 5, which is on level 10, who's at $100 code, and it'll show example on how that really works if you show his slide.
Awesome. Hey, so it gets even better. Think about this. Mr. Ivory broke it down of how the code bonus go, but it gets even better with this awesome system of getting paid, this opportunity. Think about this. So we were talking about earlier how you unlock it, and this right here is the first tier of getting paid. Fatima, could you break down to them about the first tier, about unlocking this and describing what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, so the first one would be your executive director. So in order to unlock this, that's why I was talking about that you would need the 3 QFDs, or what I like to call them 3 business partners and 1 customer. 1 customer meaning someone who just wants to use the membership and don't want to get the extra cash flow. And once you do that, you will get $5 a day, which totals up to be $150 a month. That's when your business is now self-funded, okay? And that is an additional $1,825 for a year of income, extra money that you have coming in, just by having 3 business partners and 1 customer.
Awesome. And as you go to the next level of ED2, what we were talking about earlier, hey, at $20, you could be able to earn $600 a month. That's $7,300 annually with all of those bonuses. But that's just the first tier. But it goes all the way up to $150 with the first tier. Now you'll be earning annually over $50,000. I don't know about you, but that right there is what some of the average people out here in America are making, that are, say that, hey, I'm making good money. They're making about $50,000. But think about this. That's from a home-based opportunity. That's money on top of the money that you already making with your income. But it gets better. And with the
second, what's good about that too, Bryan?
Is
that executive level rank is really part-time. So that's putting in maybe like 3 hours a week. And we have people walk off their job at start level 5. Matter of fact, that's where I had walked away. So now you're on the second tier, which is the 6-figure, those that want to earn 6 figures, so.
Exactly. So Fatima, hey, I got to ask you this question. Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you're a service member in the uniformed services at the top level, leadership wise. Just imagine this. What level on this tier right here could you be making your retirement pay while still on active duty?
About regional director.
So you mean to tell me at a regional director, you'll be making like general pay at a top level leader leading them soldiers around there?
Yes. That is correct.
Hey, and you got less responsibility and all. And I want to say this, hey, salute all our service members. Hey, don't knock to them. Hey, I love what it does for y'all. But walking around and be able to have options, Just imagine when you walk away and you finally retire. What's life going to be like for you when you're making this money already? All right, so we're gonna fast forward to the next level. This is where you be able to earn the Millionaire Residual Ring Club ring to earn at $300 a day. You already with the big boys when you're making 6 figures a year. All right. In the third tier, you can make all the way from $1,500 to $15,000 a day. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. You can make up to $15,000 a day. That's a grand total of $5.4 million. That's more than some people in their whole generations is making. And that's from a home-based opportunity. On top of the money, like Mr. Ivy said, you definitely going to be working it full time because, hey, you already see the light at the end of the tunnel. But let's think about this. We were talking about some of those texts. Hey, here's one of our top earners in the business, Mr. Bryan MB. Here's some of the texts where he would earn his daily pay up to $3,200 in the beginning. And this comes in daily for him because he's getting money in different ways, what we were talking about earlier. And it went up to over 6,000 with the next slide, and on up to $11,000+ a day. Now, I don't know about you, but that type of money right there will definitely have me walking away from my job. And I don't know about you, Fatima, it'll definitely probably have you walking away once, you fulfill, your obligation. But think about this. The same deal, he went all up to 14,000 in different texts. Hey, Mr. Bryan MB is definitely a do-it-first leader in the business. Think about this. This is what his spread looked like. When we were talking about those coder bonuses, he earned here when you see he had a leadership bonus for 30, another 30. This looked like he had we was coded in a different area. We earned 50. Then he got another $100 and 30. And then you see we got this daily guarantee now. That's for just leadership bonus. We were talking about the 30s, the 50s, and 100s. But that daily guarantee, he locked in at $1,000 a day on this. And it just keeps going. And this is how his pay is coming in. And we told you to pay multiple ways in this organization. So this is the funniest part right here. During the height of the pandemic, this is one of his first stream shots that he got. Now, he sent this stream shot out to some of his friends. And his friends, they clowned him. They was laughing at him all on social media, doing like big head memes, like, oh, you making $5, but you showing people. So they was laughing at him first. Then he started, and then when he ranked up, he started to make 200. He went from 200 to 300. And as you can see, as he ranked all the way up, he went up to $1,000 a day. All that laughing stopped. When they saw the 200, they were like, okay. When he started to make $1,000, some people stopped talking to him, but they were always lurking around, watching his page and all that stuff like that. Now the jokes is on them. So we talked about Mr. Ivory in the story earlier. We're going to keep running the play, but let's talk about cash flow stream number 3. Fatima, could you give them a quick breakdown on some of these different areas on how we are actually getting passive income with this area of stream right here?
Yeah, so this is where you're going to be able to multiply your cash flow by either putting in a diversified cash flow account, or you're taking that money and move it into giving to the experts so they can manage your trades. We all know like a lot of people aren't familiar with the stock market, or they think it's too risky, or they don't want to put their money in it, and is that they want to make the money, but they're just not educated. So now you have a team of experts that can actually do it for you. Then we have the Trust My Asset. This is like a really good one right here because we all heard of trust funds. I've only heard on them in movies, and I'm like always thought that this is something that I will never be able to have because I just didn't have enough money to do so. But MWR is actually making it available to people to be able to protect their assets. I went through a personal experience where a will was involved, and I ended up writing a probate course, still going through that right now, and it's a complete nightmare. And even in the military, they put, oh, make sure you got a will, make sure you got a will. But I'm trying to tell you, you get a will, it's better than nothing, but you're going to end up in probate. If you've never gone through that process before, I hope y'all never do no time soon. It can be a very traumatic thing thing. So now you have something where you can actually put your assets in and protect them and build that legacy while you're still alive. And then once you're gone, you'll be able to leave those to your family members or whoever you see fit. Then you have the property reserve account, another version, like a savings account we can use once you retire and once you're good and stuff like that. And of course, the key to home ownership, we all know owning a home is definitely where it's at. If you're renting, I get it, but definitely the ultimate goal I feel is that for everyone should be to own a home. And then you have the land banking. We know like there's no more land being created, right? So you want to invest in land, because even when you own a house, most of the time the land might be worth more than the actual house. So investing in properties in Silicon Valley, in California, you could buy it now. And there's nothing there now. So once they start building, who they're gonna have to come see? They're gonna have to come see you because you're the owner. So that's going to be a nice payday for whoever go ahead and invest in that. So these are all the ways that you could multiply. And then the best part is you don't have to do it yourself. You get educated through the experts and they do all the work for you.
Awesome. Hey, Fatima, man, that I know you gave them a mouthful in all quickness, but I tell you right now, out of all the things that come out, like you said, that trust, my asset, I had to walk out of the door when we was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, because it blew my mind. I thought I was doing something in the beginning with dealing with MWR Financial. When they add this was an icing on the cake, because my biggest fear, keyword fear, and men shouldn't fear, nobody shouldn't fear nothing, is leaving my kids with nothing. And they have to fight over what I was building because I didn't have something in place. Now I thought a will was something, but trust my asset alone is worth his membership. But just like she said earlier, a lot of this right here, everybody got different financial things going on. So you're gonna have to set up a consultation for these different programs. But I tell you right, everybody can have a seat at the table if they really want to. Once they talk to those experts, they know where they at. So we're gonna keep going on with this actual conversation. My trust, this is some of the breakdown of my trust. So my trust, we got the business trust, the family trust, and the foundation trust. And what they do, they illuminate each other. So the business trust basically protects a lot of your real estate and a lot of your stuff of value, i.e., that you will probably be fighting, like how Fatima was talking about earlier, through the probate court. But it can help by having this trust fund, and those with those stuff that you'll be leaving, this can be dispersed to the family trust. When it goes over to the family trust, this helps pays the trustees and pay all of the expenses that's dealing with this actual trust that was coming from the business. But what's most of all what I love about this is that foundation trust. It's a 501c. This is where you finally got to start your own foundation. This is where you can help safeguard and protect some of all that wealth that you were making. Some people wonder why, like Oprah Winfrey have like a charity foundation, or people like LeBron James and Michael Jordan have a charity foundation, because they trying to protect their legacy. And that's what it's about. But you can get more with that, just like I said before, when you have a consultation with this awesome, unique, membership. So
hey, Bryan, hold on. Bryan, hold on. Go back to that three-headed monster, man. Because
okay,
here's what y'all gotta understand about this trust. Go back to that trust slide.
Trust,
because this is very important. This right here shuts the game down. I want you guys to understand that there's two types of information. There's information that the public gets, and then there's private information. I want you to understand that the trust laws are different than the IRS tax laws. The trust laws was established in the 1700s, but the IRS came on board in the 1930s. So that's why wealthy people put all of their money in trust, because they're not governed by the same laws that the IRS governs. So the way this works, you can eliminate yourself from owing taxes permanently. That's big, Bryan. You don't ever have to pay taxes. And the way this three-headed monster goes is once you set up a business trust, you move all of your assets into your business name. That takes the money off of you. So every dollar that you make, your business earn, not you. So now your business don't want to pay the taxes on that money, but they are able to distribute 100% of the profits that goes in there. That's why they shift that money to that family trust. These go to your trustees, and this is where you'll pay your regular bills out of, your mortgage, your car notes, and stuff like that. But because your family trust don't want to pay the taxes on that money, they can donate the rest into that foundation, which is a nonprofit, and a nonprofit is non-taxable. So you can literally eliminate your tax liability forever. And this is really big, and you got to drive this part home, because there are business owners out there that make a lot of money. And you know, the government, the IRS, the more money you make, the more money they take. But this is where you can protect not only your assets, but you can protect your money. Because wealthy people don't pay a lot in taxes, because they get that private information where they get those government loopholes that nobody knows anything about. That's why this one particular asset right here, to me, trumps everything, Bryan. Now go back to the next slide that has all of those investments on, because I'm gonna show you how you play this game the way you should. Yeah. Your diversified cash flow fund is really a savings account that's on steroids, right? So it's earning at a minimum 4%. There is no bank in this country giving you 1%. So you now become your own bank, Bryan. So anytime you put money in the bank, it never leaves. Even when you take it out to spend it, it stays in the bank. The value is growing at 4%, and that's minimal, no matter how much is left in there. So for an example, let's say you have $50,000 in this diversified cash flow fund, and then you borrowed $20,000 for yourself because you wanted to buy a Harley or something, right? Now, in most banks, if you took $50,000 and you subtracted 20, you only got 30,000 left. But your diversified cash flow is still growing at 50,000, like you never touched that money. Now you get to pay yourself back, and you're growing interest on the money that you're borrowing, that you're putting to work. So now you can buy things cash and not even draw any interest off of the stuff that you're buying. Now, a smart person will take a diversified cash flow fund and pull money out of it to put into that manage my trade. Now you're trading money all around the world while your diversified cash flow is still growing as if you never took money out of it. And now you managing your trade where we're trading all over the world. You take that money and divide that between your diversified cash flow fund and your private reserve account, which is your retirement. Now, when your diversified cash flow fund or your private reserve account gets to a certain level, now you can go purchase that land banking at 40% below market value, and that land is growing at 30%. Mine grew 37.5. And now all these assets that you have, you put it in that trust, and now you bulletproof. They can't even take it. I mean, you bulletproof from divorces, lawsuits, everything, because that trust is it's a federal entity. See, can't nobody take you to court in the state. They gotta take that to the federal level, and your trust is a contract, and then they got laws that governs contract. So your trust my asset makes you bulletproof. So that's why I think that we have the total cash flow system, because if you put all of these things together, man, I mean, you unstoppable. And here's the best thing about it, Bryan, you ain't got to put one person in the business to do this. You could just do this just with the membership, and you ain't got to worry about going out trying to get people to partner with you. If you just did this by itself, you could be a liquid cash millionaire. Just this by itself. So you got to understand that trust is something serious. That shuts the game down for everybody. That's that private information that nobody gets. And here's the thing too, if you go to an attorney, they give you what they call a living trust. A living trust don't protect you because you can get sued, and a living trust can get you sued in your state. But that three-headed monster, that business, that family, and that foundation trust, you bulletproof. Can't nobody touch you. That's your money.
Man, hey, Mr. Ivory, hey, I appreciate you that breaking that down for me and articulating that, because I'm still a babe at this. But I can tell you this right now, that I'm not gonna forget this awesome information that you dropped on me, because to be told, I had knew about a trust. When I say keyword knew, but I didn't understand. I wasn't educated in it at the age of 7. I remember my mother told me that when I turned 18 to look into a trust fund that was growing. But fast forward, just like I said, when we was down there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the light bulb finally came on. But then that's when we started to get educated about it. And now that you broke it to the forefront, I definitely got to make sure I secure this for me and my legacy. Because at the end of the day, I don't work hard. I don't work hard for people making their millions. I work hard for my family to reap the benefits and enjoy a better life. But with that being said, hey, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I mean, our time is basically up. So y'all bear with me. I have some technical difficulties out here. Let me stop the stream, bring it back.
Yeah, Brian, those wealth principles, there's one thing that Mr. House said, and actually Rockefeller said it. He said, wealthy people owns nothing, but they control everything. Everything. And Mr. Roger Grant says, you want to have the $1 million house and the 6-figure car, but still be able to qualify for food stamps. That's big. Think about what I'm saying. You own the $1 million house and drive the 6-figure car, but you still qualify for food stamps. Because on paper, you control everything, but you own nothing.
Awesome. Hey, that's
nothing.
what I'm talking about.
And that's how wealthy people play the game.
I know that's right. So we're going to close it up, but we're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing, because we're not one of those huff and puff and always be flexing. We got team members that are actually out here really doing real things with their cash, taking some cash, buying assets, and really making some cash. We're going to talk about this land bank with Mr. Dana Turnquist and Angelina Johnson. They got them a parcel of land out there in Antelope Valley, California, out there between LA and Las Vegas. And they got this land at 40% under the wholesale value because they have an awesome membership. Because they say with membership, it has privileges. People like Mr. Warren Buffett, the U.S. Air Force, and people like the 2028 Olympics have bought into the same parcel of land. But our awesome group was smart. They did the same thing, and this is what our members are getting. Think about this. Think about sitting on that land, like Ms. Fatima said earlier, and just waiting on that big payday. Woo-wee, that's just one way. But we were talking about earlier with Mr. Cameron, the youngest investor in the family. Hey, this is a snapshot of him. And I wanted to show this, even though Mr. Ivory already talked about this earlier. I wanted to show him because Mr. Ivory, look at the big picture. He wants his son to carry the torch. He's going to carry the torch. He's a 4-year-old investor. Well, he about to have a birthday soon, but By the time this young man is actually 18, he's going to have $750,000 in the bank. Now, not just any bank, his bank. But think about this. We went over and we talked about some of the other strategies that Mr. I was talking about, how he snowballed his credit cards by him getting a daily pays like this that you can see on the stream. But we're gonna keep fast forwarding. But think about this.
That's actually my son's account. That's not even mine.
Yeah. So yeah, let me go back. Let me go back because that is funny. Now I gotta screenshot this. Hey, look, this young man is making more than some people that's out here playing part-time. You can see $400, $200, $50, $138, and this guy is getting paid daily. This is not playing around. This young man is on his way. But think about this. This is the last thing I want to say is this about Mr. Ivory. Mr. Ivory is a do it first, like he said. When he banked up, when he started to make money, he banked up. And those experts got him to have a rebate, not a refund. Because refund are for people that like people to be overtaxing them and taking their money and using it for an investment. I mean, an interest loan that they ain't even really paying up on to give you pennies back on the dollar. But now you can see right here, this is a proven thing when Mr. Ivory let the world know on his tax earnings on one of his years earned that he got back a $13,000 return. And on top of that, the ad, you said at the bottom four, he got almost $20,000 back because he got a rebate, not a refund. And I told y'all, the education alone are working with us is the thing that's going to separate you from the boys from the men or the women from the little girls. But think about this. He snowballed, his credit card debt from 60-something thousands to zero. I said zero. So now he's not living the paycheck behind the paycheck. Now the IRS is saying, okay, you make a lot of money, you have to give us a lot. But that trust fund he was talking about right now is help safeguarding some of those things. And this is some of the education we were talking about. Fast forward. So now that we gave you the rundown, we talked to you about the membership, we talked to you about the money. Let's talk about the piece. What I like so most about this company is the education piece. Extra Danger Training and Support has over 100 years of experience. We got online and offline support. We also got virtual team addresses. We actually had a team address this weekend with Mr. Bryan Dean, where we had a state of team address, and it was mind-blowing because we have an awesome thing coming up. We also got the text. We also got weekly overviews like we have right now with Ms. Fatima Warren, the awesome host that's hosting this. We got this this weekly overview, and we need to get off because we're gonna have another one. Somebody else got something on, but we're showing you this right now to help you get better at what you're doing financially. We also have text message campaigns. With these text message campaigns, some of y'all shy, so hey, we'll text with you, but we text with people that are serious, that want to enhance their experience with the cash flow experience. We also have the online funnels, i.e. we got YouTube, we got the digital movement page, we also have the corporate page, which is the MWR financial page. We also have community forums. When you join with us, you'll be able to get enlightened on that. And we also got coming up the Game Changer. Yes, Game Changer ATL, the 24th through the 26th of this month. Hey, we about to change some lives over in Atlanta. So if you get on now, you can be able to get on to that. But what's more awesome is this, we already got our mobile app already pushing this 2023. And so we got multiple ways that you can stay plugged in and be educated. So you can't say you can't get the information. We make it no reason why you cannot win in these times. But most of all, we're looking for people that want a live a legacy. Don't just leave it. So with that being said, there are some roadblocks that we know somebody probably watching out there before they saw this actual presentation either on YouTube or actually was in the room. There's a lot of roadblocks that people think about, but the roadblocks to your $1 million makeover, the assumptions which you had prior to coming to this actual conversation, it should be out of the way. Stop worrying about what everybody else thinks, because you need to be thinking about you, because you're the number one investment you need to be thinking about. Your confusion about the expense and the investment, it should have a little bit more clarity, because Mr. Ivory slowed it down, gave you a lot of education pieces on how he took from people, stuff that were regular expenses, and he turned around and snowballed when he got out to make more cash and got into more investment. Now, more so in that, if you got an indecision, which we grown out here, we making decisions to change lives for the create generational wealth. So if you grown, hey, you make a decision that's gonna create generational wealth. But most of all, your past fears about stuff like this and failures, we got the #1 solution answer, the ultimate financial makeover company with the cash flow asset formula. Your prayers will be answered. So at this time, the only two type of people that we like to talk to at this time, because we done gave you everything that we could give you in this short period of time. We actually went over, is number twos. Now, number two said, hey, look, I don't want to make no money, but I definitely want to use this so I can secure everything I already got. And that's fine. We like number twos. At 149, you and your spouse can go ahead and handle y'all business. But now, number ones, we love number one. Number one said we want everything. We want all those services, all the extras, and we want the money, and we definitely want to help a lot of people win financially. That's for extra 100 one-time startup costs and 149.97 overhead monthly. You can be able to start up with a business opportunity. So with that being said, hey, thanks for coming on tonight, but I'm about to turn this back over to Fatima but most of all was this, whoever brought you to this actual conversation, you need to get back with them if you're one or two so they can give you information. But I'm gonna turn this back over to Miss Fatima Warren and she can close this out. Fatima.
Yeah, I'm here. So before we go, does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to ask right now to myself, Bryan, or Mr. Ivory? No? Okay, that's fine. Just like he said, you just get with the person that brought you here and whatever questions, and if you need us to bring you in on a text thread or a 3-way call, we can definitely do that if you need any more clarification. So, but Bryan, I just want to thank you for that awesome presentation. And Mr. Ivory, thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to have you and for you to hear your story. Every time I hear it over and over again, it just gives me a boost of energy. So thank you so much for sharing it. And again, please get back with the person